Hey everyone, welcome to Reverse Homesteading. Today is pretty cold. It's winter here, June in Melbourne, Australia. It's 13 or 14 degrees, depending on which weather app you look at, and that's our top temperature. So that's 55 or 57 Fahrenheit. I have some trees, including some tropical ones, and I'm considering when I need to plant things. So I thought I would let you know what I'm doing with those. Some of them are a little tricky, and I'll point that one out in a minute. So we have evergreen trees here, these three. So we've got a native currant, that's my Eureka lemon, and we've got a Kensington Pride or Bowen mango. So this is tropical, that's close to tropical, and citrus like the warm hot weather as well. But they're all evergreen. Best case scenario is to protect them from frost here in Melbourne. So put a frost cover over them. I've just got the ones in pots in a garden bed that I'm covering with a sheet at night, if you haven't seen my other videos. And they're best planted once the ground is starting to warm up, the soil starts to warm up in spring. So that gives them the best chance of kicking on, not getting too much shock on their roots, and they'll be in a growth period in spring with the warmer weather, so they will be much happier, especially as they come from a warmer climate. So even though they're evergreen, wait till spring. These are deciduous trees, the blackberry and the raspberry, but we have had some really weird weather. So late April into May, we have had quite warm weather, 25, 26 degrees, 2 or 3 times a week, not so cold evenings. Usually by May, you can get the occasional snowfall on the Alps. Close to Melbourne, you would get snowfall. But we have had quite warm weather up until the end of May into June. So June is winter here, obviously, in the southern hemisphere, but it's only now that it's got really cold. But the problem was it was cold for a little bit before it got warm, and now it's got cold again. So these little plants are a bit confused, so they haven't gone properly dormant. Some of them have. My Granny Smith has gone dormant, and my nectarine and my Moore Park apricot has gone dormant. So they're little sticks with buds, and that's how they should be. So stone fruit and apples and pears should be dormant in winter. But if they get a bit confused, if they've had too much cover, like these ones have had too much cover, they haven't gone properly dormant. I don't think that's a huge problem because they're in the bramble family, raspberries and blackberries, and I don't think it's really going to do them much harm. But the problem is, with this little one that I just got, it has all of its leaves for spring. Probably because it thought it was spring, because it was warm, then cold, then warm again. So you can't blame the poor little plant, but now it's properly cold for winter. It has lost a couple of little leaves, they've yellowed and fallen off. So I don't want it to do that too much. So now I have to cover it for frost, because if a plant like this is dormant for winter, it will have little buds here. And it doesn't. It's come out into full leaf. So this is all of its energy that it's put out for spring, and it doesn't have any more buds. So if I just leave this out like the rest of my dormant fruit trees, like it should be in winter, it should be dormant, it will probably lose all its leaves, and it may or may not come back with new buds for spring. So I'm going to have to protect this little baby, and I can't plant it because it's not dormant, so it'll shock it too much. So this little plant, it's June now, it'll have to wait until probably May, June this coming year when it loses its leaves for real. So I'll have to make sure I don't baby it at all. I've only had it a couple of days, but it is going to get special treatment, and I'm going to have to somehow keep it in that skinny little pot. It's pretty skinny. All summer, and I would probably put a dish of water underneath it. I wouldn't have water in it all the time, but just to stop the bottom of the pot drying out too much between waterings, because this little thing can't even be transplanted probably if you want to play it safe, because I don't want to shock the poor little thing, because this is all its energy for spring now in the second week of winter. So there you go. Some things are a bit confused. There's a lady who watches from Turkey, and her little plants were a bit confused even on the other side of the world in spring, summer. So that's the sort of crazy weather we've got at the moment, but we will roll with the punches. So yeah, if they're deciduous or if they're evergreen, don't plant them out till spring. But if they are dormant and they're meant to be dormant, plant them before they get their leaves or their flowers. So if they're a stick, plant them now or toward the end of winter so that they acclimatise a little bit before spring. But if they're a bit confused and they think it's spring already, treat them like it's spring and don't transplant them until you get autumn again and they lose their leaves and go dormant. It's getting a bit late and cold. I've got my little harvest of bok choy leaves and chard or silver beet. Have the frost covers on, so I think it's time to retire to the couch. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having fun in the garden. See you next time.